crate walk in the back, bro.
Wow.
Maybe I can gritty. How you gritty?
I don't know. You're asking the wrong person.
That was the worst. If you put that in the video.
I will. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Kelly Rose. The channel by Kelly Rose is very literal. It is anything that I do, which includes fashion, makeup, nails, hair, lifestyle, and luxury. Anything that I am interested in. This is definitely my space to be creative. I appreciate you showing up, and if you like what you see here and you like what you've seen in the past from me, please consider giving this video a like and subscribing to my channel. Today, if you didn't already read the title, we're cutting bangs. I have wanted to cut curtain bangs for a while. I'm gonna start popping up inspiration pictures here, but I have been just like looking at people with like long curly hair with bangs and dying, and I want them so bad. I've had bangs in the past. As a youth in high school, I had bangs pretty much all the time because it was the only way to have a style with relaxed, heat damaged, dyed, bleached hair. The front just broke constantly, so it was in your best bet to just cut bangs and have bangs, because then at least it looked intentional that you had all this short hair in the front of your head. Otherwise you just had this like deer kind of situation because of all the breakage. I always wanted to have the Zooey Deschanel like across the forehead bangs. I never did get to try that, but later in college I did the curly equivalent and it was very, very cute. Like, oh my gosh, I couldn't believe I waited that long to finally try it. But it's hot here, so they ended up pinned back off of my face more often than not, and I definitely let them grow because they were annoying. So here we are. That was the last time I've ever had my hair shaped, really. Like, I've been kind of rocking the all one length moment just because it's novel. Like, ever since I have had my hair relaxed, I've never been able to have my hair long and all one length. I've always had to hide all of the damage and breakage with layers and bangs and undercuts and high-low bobs and all kinds of creative cool styles that admittedly, yes, were great, but ultimately were not my choice. They were just styles that I used to make the best of a bad situation. But now I finally have healthy hair. Ever since going natural, my hair grows like a weed. It's so thick, it's so luscious, and for the first time ever, I could just let it all grow out and not trim it and not have to have layers and just see what it looks like all one length. And I did that, and I love it. I got married like that. It looked great. Yeah, it's getting hot again, and I'm conversely, considering I just said that I stopped wearing my last set of bangs because it was hot. But in this case, since my hair is long, having all of it long and on my chest and on my face has been driving me crazy. So I wanted to go ahead and cut some curtain bangs because that's the new, the new word for face framing layers in 2023, I guess, is curtain bangs. I really, really like how they look. I'm not probably gonna wear them how everybody else is wearing them. I do have curly hair, so they're gonna end up being like curly bangs. They'll probably sit a little shorter as a result of that as well. But I love the idea because it allows me to still have a middle part, still have like my face not covered with hair, but then the hair that is on my face is shorter. So it's not like flying into my mouth and flying into my food and flying on my neck and getting tangled in my necklace and all of the things that my hair does now. So basically, yeah, we're cutting face framing layers, curtain bangs on curly hair. The style is going to be Bantu knots, and if you missed it, my last video, I did my Bantu knot out tutorial, so you can see that and see how I do it. I will not be showing it in this video, but I will be showing the results with my curtain bangs. I'm also considering using some flexi rods just to do the bang section so that I get a lot of curl, and also they're really easy to separate from the back. I don't want them to just disappear into the longer sections, which is what is likely going to happen if I Bantu knot all of the side sections together the way I usually do. So we're gonna try some flexi rods. I have some mousse here. I use the Lotta Body mousse for when I do curler sets, so I'll be using this on the front section, but the rest of my hair, I'm just gonna do my tried and true twisting cream, melanin hair care. You've seen these products before, the products I always use. I also actually got a hold of the leave-in. I went to Ulta because her website is still out of stock. So I went to Ulta and they had it. And then I also am trying the Wow Dream Coat Spray. Now, I've used this on my last blowout. I can't say I noticed anything, and I definitely think that it's because this is the one that's for like silk presses and it's heat activated, which I do use a blow dryer. But I don't think I use enough heat to really activate this the way it's supposed to be, so it didn't do much of anything for me with my last blowout, so I actually skipped it this time. I'm gonna keep workshopping and figure out how to use it. Since I wear these like kinky straight blown out styles, I don't really feel like I fall into either the curly category or the straight category, which are the two categories of products that they sell. They have this basically for curly hair, like if you're doing a wash and go, and then they have this one for straight hair if you're doing a silk press or using a flat iron or something like that. I don't use that much heat, so I skipped that and just used my Aveda this time, but otherwise everything you've seen is the same that I used in that video, so check it out if you'd like to see how I do my Bantu knots. And now let's get into the cut. Hello. Different setting, different everything. So let me go ahead and preface this. First off, I watch enough Brad Mondo to know how to do this. Second off, I used to cut my hair all the time. I know what I'm doing. Don't come for me, Brad Mondo. And I'm using Conair hair scissors. I've had these for years, so they could be dull, but frankly, I don't use them that often. I also just recently purchased some thinning shears. I don't know if I'll need these, but I'm trying to I don't really want to cut layers in the back because that's just work to maintain, and also it's like 8 o'clock and I don't really want to do a whole thing tonight. I literally just want a little bit less like hair on my face. So because we watch Brad Mondo, we also have a rat tail comb, and also because we have curly hair. Like I don't know how people part their hair without a rat tail comb, but like I can't do it. It's not a skill that I possess. I can kind of get in there and do a messy part with my fingernails, but you're just better off using a rat tail comb. What you want with a curtain bang is sort of a triangle shape from, you know, like a good middle part, and I always wear my hair middle parted. And then you take that down to about the edge of your eyebrow, somewhere around there, you know? So that's kind of what I'm doing. My hair's very fine, so it takes a few tries. All right, that looks pretty straight. That even might be too much, honestly. Let's look. I don't know. I've always done a lot of bang, but this is a curtain bang, and curtain bangs are not supposed to be a lot of bang. It's supposed to be a little bit of bang. So let's be conservative, I suppose, right? Yeah. So right now I'm just trying to get the angle right. So as you can see, this side, and this side are not really at the same angle. This one's a little bit steeper. So just trying to get that angle right so that both sides are even. So that's what we're dealing with right now. And that looks pretty even to me. Right now the edges of each of these is kind of, I have it lining up with the top of my eyebrow. Now remember, we are going in and blending the rest of the hair with the rest of my long hair in the back at the end of this. So the way I see it, the more hair you leave on either side to blend, the less likely you're going to end up with a mullet. Talking a bit through my process here. Like I said, in the infamous words of Brad Mondo, for a curtain bang, you kind of want a little triangle situation right here. Coming from your middle part, you take 2 triangle pieces in the front. Take your section, so I'm actually gonna pull this other one behind my ear here. You take your section, you pull it to the other side of your head, and you wanna hold your scissor so that it's parallel to the part. So I'm gonna go down to about here. This is like a super long curtain bang, but like I said, I'm not really looking for something very short. Also, I have curly hair, so pretty much no matter what I do, it's going to sit up higher than I cut it. So make sure you pull all the hair, make sure your scissor is parallel to the part, and YOLO. It's gone, we did it. That's definitely more than I intended to cut, but it's okay. So yeah, basically you do that so that when you pull it back, you over direct it that way so that when you pull it back, you can't really see because like my hair is very curly and fine and also dyed a similar color to my skin at the ends. But basically it's going like this, you know? It's not like a harsh line. You can see that there's a little bit of a angle to the ends, which automatically makes the hair look more like natural and lived in and not like shaped. I don't know why I'm freaking out so much. I used to cut my hair all the time, like seriously, all the time. And I don't cut my hair often anymore except for trims, but I used to cut my hair all the time and it grows like a weed now because I'm like nice to it. So even if I don't like this, it'll be back to this length in literally 3 months. I give it 3 months or 4 months for me to not even notice that I cut bangs. That was the problem with my bangs before, the last time I had bangs. And even when my hair was relaxed and super damaged, this was kind of an issue. But I definitely just got sick of trimming them all the time and stopped. Now I don't have bangs anymore. I mean, that's how it works. You know, if you don't want bangs, just stop trimming them and then all of a sudden, boom, you will not have bangs. It was in this moment that she realized she had not followed Brad Mondo's tutorial appropriately, because now she has to measure and make sure both sides are even, which she would not have had to do had she followed the tutorial. Same rules apply, so we've got this over-directed going to this direction. Try not to pull it over your forehead also, because that changes the direction. You really want to keep it as taut from your root as you possibly can, all the way down to the end where you're about to cut, and then keeping the scissor parallel, we will make our cut, and I'm just double checking to make sure that it's going to be the same length as the other side, and then YOLO. So there we go. It definitely looks like this side is longer, so we're going to cut that again. But you know what? Longer is better than shorter because you can always cut more off and you cannot add hair back onto your head once it has been removed. They're definitely not the same. So we're going in again, and we're just going to pull the hair. I knew I was being conservative with this side because I like the length of the other side and I really didn't want to cut off too much, but I'm just cutting off a little bit on the end here. Neat, neat, neat. And then let's pull it back. Honestly, I could still cut a little bit more. It still looks a little bit uneven. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna take this off because you really can't see what's going on, but we've got our two sections. They look very different. It's funny because I feel like I keep cutting this side and it's still longer than the other side, like by a lot. It also looks like it's got a lot better layering in it, so maybe I should take a stab at this side again to make sure it's really got the nice steps that we want. Alright, so same rule. Take the hair, and I'm really just checking, but take the hair, pull it flat and straight all the way to where you're planning to cut it, and see how there's a little bit of extra hair in the middle there. We're just gonna chop that part off. So I'm not really cutting away length, I'm just making it a more straight cut. All right, and then we're gonna pull it back to where it was and see if that helps with the layers at all. So interesting. It really didn't, but it's okay. All right, and then same thing, I'm just gonna pull this back over, take another look-see, and look at that, maybe we figured it out, because it definitely seems like there's a little bit of extra bit on this side. So again, pulling it all the way to the ends. Yeah, that's the culprit. So let's just trim that little bit off, and then they should be even. All right. Cool. It's literally like mirror images of each other. That's what we want. We're in a good place. All right, so basically what I'm doing right now, you can see this is the initial section, this is the first part. I just went and parted, like basically using that same point as my starting point. I went and grabbed just a little bit more hair to the side of that, so we've got a little bit more hair coming in now. And this is the part where I think you can get a little bit artistic, because now you've got your bangs, right? You've got your bangs in the front. These are the face framing parts. So like obviously I don't necessarily want to take them and cut them the exact same way, because that's going to give us way too short side pieces. So in this case, I'm going to take both my bang and this side piece, and I'm going to hold them, in this case, I'm going to hold them on the correct side of my face now. And I'm just going to take the side pieces and kind of just trim all the way down the length. At the end of the day, I did take off a lot of hair, but it is more of a gradual situation. Gosh, my hair is, it's literally like a feather. So yeah, you really can't see that anything has even happened. And I'm gonna do that again. I'm gonna basically do another section behind that same way. And then I think I'm also gonna take that section and the larger section and go over them with the shears, just to really make sure it's blended. So I don't have like, what you don't want is like a step where your bangs are and then another step where this longer bit is, and then, you know, the final step where all of your hair is. You want it to be more of like, you know, a nice summit, a nice mountain, a nice gradual descent. Now, this is the part where it gets kind of tricky because I'm right-handed and we're on the right side now. So trying to figure out the just best way to hold these scissors, but same principle. We're going to take the scissors and going in a downward motion, just sort of trim. So, you know, I'm kind of just doing this and just trimming as I go down. So at the end of it, hair is getting cut off, you know, the hair is shorter, but all in all, it is a more gradual descent. Now don't worry too much about the weirdness. Like, natural hair is so forgiving to cut, truly. It is, any strange disproportionateness of your style can be hidden in your curl pattern and your curled styles. So I'm not concerned about how it looks right now. I'm probably gonna touch it up once it's styled, because I don't want to cut too much now while it's straight and then have it look funny curled. All right, sorry, so I'm just kind of pulling my rest of my hair down and looking at it. And this is the part where I'm thinking I take thinning shears and just go down the hair and give it a little bit more sort of layers, just so that we're really getting a gradual, you know, situation here, because I really don't want this to be an aggressive bang. I really want it to be like a gradual gradient that blends nicely into the rest of my hair. And that looks to be what we've accomplished here. It's just like a nice little, you know. All right, so yeah, same thing. I just took the thinning shears on that other side, and at the same level of the bangs, made one cut and then went down a little bit. It's kind of hard. You have to like stop and brush out the hair. But I made that one cut, and then I'm gonna go down a little bit and then make another cut. Like down here, just to thin it out so that it's a little more like, it's layers, but not really, like, you know, it's just to give it more gradual gradient effect. Now, obviously this is not how I would wear my hair. So it's hard to say whether or not I did a good job, whether or not I like these bangs without styling my hair. Sorry, I just remembered I didn't check the length, but they do match up. To check the length, you can take 2 pieces from either section and pull them all the way down so you can see if they're ending in the same spot, and they are, so I'm chill with it. But yeah, it's hard to say whether, you know, this was a success right now because my hair is in this just floofy style that I would never wear it in. So now I have to go style it. But while I'm here, I think I'm gonna go ahead and give it a trim so I can also show how I do that. This just really makes me think of all the times I cut my hair as a teenager and did not film it. What a shame. There definitely were hair fails back then. There were so many. There was one memorable time, I'm sure I can find a picture. It was the coolest haircut in the world after the fact, but the way I got there was questionable. And of course you gotta forgive, it was like in the 2000s. We didn't have Brad Mondo and YouTube and all this stuff we have now to tell us how to do our hair properly. So I definitely did not do my hair properly. Back in that era, I had the high-low with a bang and it was jet black, but the way that I got to that jet black was that I dyed it black and then I bleached it. I know, you're cringing out of your skin right now. So I dyed the whole of my head black. Then I went back, took the underneath part and sectioned that off and bleached that section, and it was like, wow, like what was wrong with me? Like, why am I like this, you know? It's terrible. So that's what I did to my hair. One of the many terrible things that I did to my hair. The rest were really just bad haircuts, but that was the one that was like, oh my gosh. And I mean, all of this is on top of my hair being relaxed, so really I should not have been bleaching it or coloring it at all. But I was bleaching it and coloring it and at times dyeing it black and then bleaching it in the same sitting, and then also, you know, relaxing it and straightening it multiple times a day. I mean, this was the 2000s, like I said, we didn't know. So what you can't see is that I'm basically just pulling my hair all the way straight, and I'm cutting off like a ½ inch, like really not that much. I'm just cutting off the dead ends. I do this periodically just to keep my hair healthy. So now that we're looking all cute, I'm going to clean up this countertop that is covered in all of my hair and then go into my office and style my hair into the bantu knots. Again, if you'd like to see how I do my bantu knots, please check out the video in the corner somewhere of my bantu knot out tutorial. And yeah, I will see you tomorrow when I take this down for Mother's Day. Bye. Hey there. So, it's actually a different day. I took down my hair for Mother's Day really quickly, and I didn't love how it looked. Also, unfortunately, as soon as I took it down, I immediately went downstairs and had to finish cooking for our Mother's Day brunch that we were hosting. And just being in the kitchen and being all hot, they completely frizzed and got ruined and were pinned back behind my ear by the end of the day. So it was a complete fail on a first day having bangs. And since they got frizzed out and pretty much ruined, I've been trying to restyle them all week and just experimenting with different types of styles. On that first night, I put them into their own little bantu knots. And since the rest of my hair didn't really fall as much, I left that in just a ponytail with a silk scrunchie. When I took that down the next day, the bangs were a little too tightly curled and perfect and uniform, and the rest of the hair looked like second day hair, so I wasn't loving that vibe either. On day 3, I tried to get really experimental and do a robe tie curler set. I'm sure you've seen people do this on TikTok. It's where you take like the tie from your robe and then like basically flat twist your hair kind of away from your face using the robe tie as your second strand to give you these loose like face framing beachy wave curls. And I tried that just because the bantu knots were giving me very, very tight curls, which is fine in the back where it's long, but in the front where it's short, it was giving like sheepdog, like really short bangs that were like sitting up here and in my eyes and, you know, all rubbing my hair products all over my glasses and just were not practical for what I was trying to achieve, which is hair out of my face. That dropped completely by the end of the day, and I went to the gym, so that didn't help, and my hair was looking so bad that I just threw it in a ponytail. But last night, in order to refresh, I just did bantu knots again on the back of my hair, which had already, like I said, largely fallen by this point. And I did in the front 2 little perm rods. So the front is a little bit tighter curled than the back in the result today, but I would say that it looks pretty okay. I did the perm rods where I like kind of wrap the hair like almost like you would on a flexi rod, like a wand curl style wrap, so that it wouldn't be so tightly curled, because the very first day, as you'll see in the takedown footage, I did wrap the hair like over itself on the flexi rod like you would with a traditional curler, and I felt that it gave it too tight of a curl in the finish, especially compared to how the bantu knots, I mean, this is shorter and more shrinkage than I generally get from a braid out, but it's still much longer than the bangs were looking. And you can even see here, I have some pieces in the side here that came off of the perm rods that are like lengthwise much longer than they're hanging, like they're very springy, Shirley Temple-y looking curls, whereas the back curls that came out of the bantu knots are much more like of a stretched, like borderline wave. So still just trying to find that happy medium between having bangs and having them look like bangs, and having the back be long and stretched, and you know, having there be some symmetry and harmony there. I'm getting this, like, it's not as bad right now, but I'm getting this like step where the bangs are, and then we go into the longer hair, and the gradual transition between the bangs and the hair is there in the cut. I mean, you can see if I pull these pieces out, it's there. Maybe I should cut more, but I honestly had to put my scissors away because I did cut more after the initial video and I was feeling like it was getting a little out of hand. Maybe I should cut more, who knows? But yeah, I just feel like it's just how I'm styling it. It's, oh, sorry, Nori's in my lap now. She was meowing at the door and I could hear her. Yeah? Uh-huh. Yes. Tell the people what you have to say, Nori. Got it. Yeah. Anyway. So it's just how I'm styling it. Like, the bangs are coming out way too short compared to the rest of my hair, and I think it's because I keep styling them separately and styling them in ways that result in them having much tighter curls than the rest of my hair. So tonight, my plan, or tomorrow, whenever this falls enough to need a restyle, I will probably just do bantu knots on my whole head and incorporate the bangs in the front section like I usually would. So I'll do like 3 or 4 bantu knots on each side, and the bangs will just get bantu knotted in with, you know, the front sections that I would usually do, instead of being separated out into their like bang sections and done separately, because that just seems to result in much tighter curls than I want and smaller curls than I want, and it's just not blending with the rest of my hair the way that I would ideally prefer it to. But like, honestly, looking at it right now, it doesn't look half bad. I wouldn't give this a fail. I would probably give it like a C+, maybe like a C-. Like, Like it's not a full-on fail, like I can't believe I did this to my hair and nobody can see me until these grow out, but it's also not like giving the way that I thought it would. So I am a little disappointed. I am a little bummed as of right now, but I also have to edit this video to go up today for you, which is Friday. So I am done messing with them for this current video. I will continue to experiment, and I'm sure you'll see me on future videos with my hair in various styles as I try desperately to figure out how to style these bangs. But as of right now, I am done messing with them. I don't even think like touching them and finicking with them is helping things. So I'm gonna call this video done. And if you liked it, please give me a like on this video, subscribe to see my next video, which by the way, is probably going to be about my hair journey. We just hit 11 years natural on my 30th birthday, because I actually cut my hair and did my big chop on my 19th birthday. So we've hit 11 years, and I'd like to do a little bit of a homage to that. I skipped last year because it was wedding gear. So that's coming soon. So definitely subscribe if you'd like to see that video, and if you'd like to see more hair videos in general, nails, fashion, whatever the rest, all the things. And I will see you next time. Bye.